Hello out there and welcome to the newspaper review here on TAV TV. Yes, this is where we get to discuss with members on the streets, and we are the streets of Port Harcourt like we've been doing for a time now. Yes, we discuss with members of the streets, get to see their thoughts and reactions as regards different headlines making rounds on the papers. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today, and you two out there can also be a part of the show. If we discuss anything here and you have a counter opinion or you have something to add to it, please slide to our comment section and drop your comments. You can subscribe to our channel if you are yet to subscribe, turn on your notification button and connect with us across all our social media platforms. Well, before we discuss with people on the streets, let's first look into the newspapers and see what the stories look like. First, we'll be looking at the Vanguard newspaper. Today being Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. We could see as headline here, it reads, UBA records 110% rise in gross earnings to 570 billion naira. Details of this story is found on page 19. Edo Guba, Obaseki, Legacy Group sets for showdown. This is found on page 7. Impeach Fubara now. Rivers APC urges 27 assembly members. Sub-story under that reads, as Clark writes, IGP runs of imminent danger. This is found on page 12. Popular, the new masquerade actress, Ovulere dies at 81, a very sad one. May her soul rest well. This is found on page 6. And at the main story on the Vanguard, we could see it says, oil block. Federal government removes signature bonus to woo investors. Sub-story under that reads, signature bonus highest in Nigeria, says Lokobiri, adds oil will remain relevant to Nigeria's economy. Details of this story is found on page 5. Controversy trails CBN cybersecurity levy on electronic transaction. Sub-story under that reads, NLC rejects levy, demands immediate withdrawal. Details is found on page 20. Tinubu returns to Nigeria today, says President. Details is found on page 8, and that's all be taken on the Vanguard newspaper. And moving on, we'll be looking at the Punch newspaper. The headlines on the Punch reads, federal government woos global investors for 17 oil blocks. This is found on page 17. 7.5 billion naira fraud. EFCC grills 20 NSCDC contractors, 10 officers. This is found on page 7. Abduction. Anger as FIJ reporter spends 7th day in police cell. This is found on page 29. Warnings of APC anarchy as PDP demands Fubara's removal. This is found on page 2. The main story on the Punch reads, dollar speculation. Federal government rubbishes Binance CEO's bribery allegation. Sub-story under that reads, Binance CEO allegation diversionary. No going back on trial. Government officials declare. This is found on page 17. Pawn star testifies against Trump as hush money trial. This is found at page 31. Cybersecurity levy will worsen hardship, says Labour. This is found on page 17. How I killed my sugar mommy over 100,000 naira, says suspect. A very sad one. Details is found on page 5. Edo gunmen kill 3 Okomu oil staff. Details is found on page 4, and that's all be taken on the Punch newspaper. And lastly, we'll be looking at the Nation's newspaper. The stories here reads, relocates people from flood-prone areas. NEMA tells 33 governors. Details is found on page 2. NNPCL cautions against panic buying of petrol. Details is found on page 2. Former Abia Speaker Oji, others resign from PDP. The details is found on page 25. UBA consolidates with 110% gross earning growth. Details of the story is found on page 7. I got 880,000 naira promise. I got 880,000 naira, not promised 1 million naira after my kidney was removed. Boy tells court. Details is found on page 6. CBN compels IOCs to inject 50% profits locally. Apex Bank boosts forex liquidity. Details is found on page 4. ECOWAS forces to battle terrorism in Nigeria. Details is found on page 2. The main story at the Nations here reads, Rivers APC directs lawmakers to impeach Governor Fubara, says it's a smokescreen. Clark seeks IG's intervention. Details is found on page 2. And lastly, says 2024 oil bid round for only investors with technical know-how, says Local Biri. Top story reads, politicians account for 90% of dormant oil blocks. Details is found on page 4, and that's all be taken for the dailies for today. Now let's get to see the reactions of people on the street. Let's get to hear what they have to say as regard these headlines on the newspapers. Stay tuned. Hello, good day.
Yeah, it's good day, sir.
Welcome. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Now, there's a story on the Punch about EFCC, and we know EFCC has been doing exceptionally well this period, unlike other years. Now, it says 7.5 billion naira fraud. EFCC grills 20 NSCDC contractors, 10 officers. What do you have to say about that? Now they are hunting perpetrators of fraud. Now they are hunting government parastatals that are perpetrating alleged fraudulent acts. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, permit me to carry out this very single act. You know, back then in school, when you have done well, our teachers will say clap for them, pa, 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 pa. So right now we're giving it to the EFCC, pa, 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 because of late they have really done a lot. Bringing it back to these guys, what was their name again? Civil Defense. Now this is EFCC interrogating civil defense, like top bodies. Now these are bodies. These are should I call them the law? So this is the law breaking the law. So for EFCC to tackle this kind of bodies, it means they are really doing a lot.
You go heads on with others that are not.
I'm telling you, like this will really quench down, put down a lot of fire, because some persons will not be able to raise their head again if and only if they are able to nail this to the table. This is a big win for EFCC. Coupled with the fact that they have been arresting individuals and the likes, but this one is should I say, is enough evidence to show that that in as much as we are in a corrupt society, there could be good ones. I'm telling you,
could make amends.
I'm telling you, there is some level of correction, and this. For the first time in Nigeria, EFCC is taking a very good example, and we pray other law enforcement agencies should actually do the same. So kudos to the EFCC. They have, for the past, they are the ones. Lest we forget, they are the ones. They are at a particular situation where they will demand for increment in salary because they are actually working. If they should come out now and say, okay, let's increase their salary, no Nigerians will say anything, because they're actually showing working. In quotes, just like the show working Nigerians have been shouting, EFCC has really nailed down some points. And like, it looks as if, just like we've been hearing, it looks as if they just woke up to reality. But this waking up, is actually telling a lot. So kudos to the EFCC, and we pray they keep up the good work, and we pray that these top bodies in the EFCC should not be bribed by, because the moment one bad egg steps into the crate of egg, I'm telling you. So we are praying, in as much as they are yielding good fruit, there should not be one bad egg that will corrupt the rest, because once we have just one bad egg in their midst, we'll be hearing that stories like this will not get to see the light of day.
All right, as a concerned Nigerian, and being in Nigeria, a Nigerian that is living in Nigeria and knows how Nigeria activities has been going for a while now, if other sectors, is it possible that other sectors would emulate what EFCC is doing to go for transparency and nailing people to book? Is it possible? Knowing how we are in Nigeria,
now, okay,
everybody wants to eat from and get benefits from
being, just like I said, being a Nigerian that's living in Nigeria, not a Canadian Nigerian.
Exactly.
Now I tell you, for our selfish interest, I'm using the word our. I'm not excluding myself. For our selfish interest, I bet you not everybody would decide to take the bull by the horn, just like what EFCC is doing. If most law enforcement body,
many persons will go hungry and many persons will lose their jobs.
I'm telling you,
but some of them thrive through this fraud, and
they will tell you that their salaries are not enough. That it is this crooked ways that, to tell you the truth, it is this crooked ways that take people to government.
Exactly.
Let's be very true to ourselves. Why would I want to kill another person just to occupy an office? It's just for the greed, because we know say some persons that have been there over time, there has been some level of changes in their life, and we also want those changes. In as much as we bring out manifestos and say we'll do this, last, it all boils back to our selfish interest. So I bet you 80% of our law enforcement agencies will not take the bull by the horn, just like what EFCC is doing. That's why we're praying for them. In as much as we are giving them thumbs up, we're also praying for them that they should keep up the good work, because it is from them keeping up the good work that will silence a lot of, in as much as others will not want to join them, but others, so some level of corruption in quote will be reduced, because everybody
will be scared that they will be nailed to book.
In as of late now, every single leader is looking at the sky because the eagle is watching, sir.
Exactly.
The eagle is actually watching. So just like one top musician was begging that if ahead of time, he's not begging. So everybody is cautious of the eagle in the sky, knowing that the eye of the eagle is on you.
And you know that this EFCC eagle does not look away as tag your atrocity as past. They will bring it out and manhunt
for the fact that the eagle eye is on you. But it has not landed to pick you yet, but the eyes are on you. So we just hope and pray that everything still goes well. But for the part of other bodies joining them, I don't see that coming very soon. In as much as we know that healing, Nigeria is currently undergoing a healing process. Healing takes time. So let's say
this one is a very slow healing.
It's a slow healing. So let's hope and pray that maybe in the next century others will join them.
All right, thank you very much. All right, this is where we draw our curtains today. We come to the end of the program for today. You've heard everything that has been discussed here. You've seen the thoughts and reactions of people on the streets. You heard what they have to say as regards headlines on the papers. Well, if you have anything to add to it, please drop your comments in the comment section. Of course, we would like to interact and hear from you. Subscribe to our channel if you are yet to subscribe, and turn on your notification button. Do well also to connect with us across all our social media platforms. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today, and this has been the newspaper review here on TAF TV. See you next time.